Hey class, it's Ashley, and I'm back with another mentoring moment. Today, we're going to talk about how to play office politics and win. Too often, professional women think that playing office politics is something that's beneath them. I'm not playing around. I'm going to be authentic. I don't want to play with people at work. I don't have time for that. Let me know if that resonates with you. If you're like, I don't play with people at work. I don't have time for all of that. Office politics is inauthentic. Office politics is, me playing games and I don't have time to do that. Let me know if that resonates, because I know so many professional women feel like that. And when I talk about, playing office politics and I talk about being strategic at work, it doesn't mean being inauthentic. It doesn't mean, being someone that you're not. It doesn't mean that you have to let go of who you are and what you value to advance to the highest levels of leadership. But it does mean that you need to be really strategic about the way that you approach work. You need to be really strategic about what it means to position yourself as an expert and advance to the highest levels of leadership. And one of the things that you absolutely need to do is to, one, know what office politics are, and to two, know how to play office politics to win, right? And this doesn't mean manipulation. This doesn't mean gaslighting. This doesn't mean, playing games at work, kissing up or sucking up, but it does mean being strategic about how you approach the world of work, how you position yourself as an expert, who you engage with, how you engage with them, and doing it in a way that benefits you as an expert. And so I'm going to talk to you specifically about how to play office politics and win in today's live. So if that sounds like something that you're excited about, give me a heart. I just want to know that you're excited about this conversation and that you're ready to really learn about office politics and how to use it to your advantage. So the first thing that I want to talk about is what office politics is, right? What is office politics? What does that even mean? What does it mean to know office politics or play politics, right? And so politics is essentially the unknown or unspoken rules of work. And politics exists in every industry, right? When somebody, oftentimes I'll hear from mentees and they're like, I don't want to deal with the politics of work. And I'm like, well, girl, if you work in, they exist. Whether you are working in a Fortune 500 company, whether you're working in education, whether you're working in a nonprofit, whether you're working for yourself as an entrepreneur, if you work in this country, in the United States of America, and I would probably argue anywhere in the world, all politics are going to be a thing. It's just a thing that exists in the world. You can't get around them. You can't avoid them. You can't pretend they don't exist, right? Politics matter. They're a thing. They're a thing that exists. You can't avoid them, right? And so, but all politics really is the unspoken rules of how an organization works, how an office works, how a unit works, how a supervisor works. And what you want to do is move them right from unspoken or things that nobody really knows about or that you don't know about to things that you can uncover so you can leverage them to your advantage. I often tell my mentees that you can only leverage what you know. You can only position around what you know. You can only utilize what you know. And so often our egos have us feeling oh, I don't play games at work. I'm not playing politics. I'm going to be authentic, which has you feeling like you don't have to get to know things about your organization. You don't have to do the work to really get to know your organization, to get to know your organizational leaders, to get to know the organization. And again, office politics doesn't mean leaning into a negative, toxic, unjust environment, but it does knowing, right, that it might be unethical, unjust, and not inviting, so that you can use that knowledge to your advantage. And to your advantage might mean getting out, right? It might mean getting out of the organization, but we need to know enough. We need to be savvy enough to know what politics are, how they show up in the workplace, the bad side of office politics, the good side of office politics, and how to use them to your advantage. And so that's the conversation that we're going to have today. So I think when most people think about the bad side about office politics, right, they don't think about them in a neutral way. Most people think about office politics as a bad thing. And let me know if that's you. If you're like, yes, generally when I hear office politics, I hear I think about something bad, right? I think about something that I don't want to engage with. I think about something that's negative. So let me know if that resonates with you. If you're like, yes, when I hear office politics, I don't think anything good. And I know that that's true for a lot of professional women in particular. They kind of are shy away from politics, or when I talk about office politics, they're like, oh God, Ashley, like, I don't want to deal with it. And I get it, right? Like, I was taught, and I remember like specific stories, like I was taught like at work that you're supposed to just like put your head down and mind your business, right? You're just supposed to like focus on what you're supposed to be doing in your work. Like, you don't necessarily need to get to know anybody. You don't need to like, be up in people's business. Don't tell nobody your business. Like, I was taught that work was supposed to be like a private matter. You just go there, you do your job, and you leave them people alone, right? And let me know if like that's how you were kind of taught about work. Like, don't go in there trying to make friends. Don't tell nobody your business. Just kind of put your head down and like don't say anything and don't rock the boat and like just do the work and everything will work out, right? And that's never been true for me. I learned a long time ago. In fact, I remember exactly about 6.5 years ago when I realized that my way of like approaching work was not doing me any favors. My way of approaching work, the way that, my elders had taught me, my mentors had taught me, to go to work and put your head down and just do the work, and somebody will see you and somebody will recognize that you're good at this, and somebody will value you. Like, I thought that was the way you approach work, right? And I remember specifically 6.5 years ago, my boss pulling me into an office and being like, Ashley, why did you say that? Or what are you doing? Or why are you engaging this way? And I was just like, what are you talking about? I'm doing my job. Like, I was very caught off guard. I was very offended. Like, I'm doing my job. I come to work every day. I show up, like I do the job. Like, what's the problem? And my boss was basically like, Ashley, just doing the work isn't what we expect of you. Like, we expect a higher level of leadership from you. We expect a higher level of engagement from you. We expect for you to be savvy, to be smart, to know the players, to know the stakeholders, to know who's in the room, to know how to work the room. Like, we expect these things from you. And I was like, what? Like, I just came here to do my job, right? Like, I didn't come here for all that, right? And I quickly realized that was an expectation of a person at my level. And at the time, I was like mid-level manager. I was an assistant director, and like, they were expecting that of me. They were expecting me to know, to be savvy, to be political, right? And I was always taught to shy away from that. I was always taught to like really not like get in the minutia of work, right? And to never really get to know my colleagues and to get to know the environment. I thought doing the job was enough. And let me know if that's what you've always thought too. Like, I just feel like I need to just come here and do my job. I shouldn't have to do anything else. And what we end up missing out on, and by I'm particularly talking to Black folk in general and Black women in particular, what we end up missing out on is the good side of office politics, right? We end up missing out on the values of office politics. We end up missing out on the opportunities to position our expertise in a way that helps our organization see the value, right, of the great work that we do and pay us well for our expertise. When we opt out of office politics, when we opt out of the conversation, when we opt out of, leveraging relationships and engagement with stakeholders and being strategic, we opt out of the good side of politics. We opt out of the shine. We opt out of the recognition. We opt out of the higher levels of pay. And so I really want us, in specifically Black women, to pull away from this idea that office politics are beneath us or that we ain't playing no games with these people. Office politics is a game, and the game must be played. And nobody plays the game better than Black women, honey, right? Nobody plays the game better than us. So let's play the game. Let's not let the game play us. Let's be strategic. Let's be intentional. Let's never be inauthentic, right? Let's never like be fake or like lessen our values, but let's be intentional about our career development so that we don't miss out on the opportunity and the good side of office politics and how we can benefit from it. So let's walk through like what the bad side looks like, because I know you're familiar with it, right? And when I start to talk about this, you're gonna be like, yes, Ashley, like, yeah, I have a lot of experience with that. So let's talk about the bad side, right? Because I think that that's what you're probably really familiar with, and that's why you shy away from it, because you're like, like, I don't want to deal with politics. I don't want to deal with office politics, but you're missing out on the good side. And I want to talk to you about also what the good side looks like, so you know what you're missing out on, and then you know how to engage in the good side to really reap the benefits for your career success. So the bad side of office politics looks like advancing yourself at the expense of other people or the organization, right? Right. And you know this, right? This is probably something familiar to you. Like, the bad side of office politics looks like gaslighting people. Like, it looks like, oh, well, that's no big deal. Or, they usurped your whole project. They knew you were working on something, took all the glory out of it, took all of your ideas and then called it as their own, right? That's the bad side of office politics. That's gaslighting. That's manipulation. That's flat out stealing, right? Your intellectual property, the great ideas that you had. right? And that's what that's how a lot of people perceive office politics. Like that's just the game that people just gonna take from you, right? That they're just gonna steal your good ideas, that they're just gonna extract things from you. The bad side of office politics looks like lies and manipulation, right? And you maybe been in a situation like this where like office politics was just people lying on you, or people lying on the boss, or people lying on that one person that nobody likes. Right. And so they're always like, oh, well, she was late, or, she didn't complete this, like basically like leaving her out and throwing her under the bus. Right. And I think that that's what a lot of people think office politics is. And that's all they think office politics is. It's just like throwing people under the bus, being mean to people, manipulating people. Right. I think for a lot of people, office politics is associated with rumor mongering. Right. It's like the girls are at the water cooler gossiping and pointing and giggling and ostracizing people. Right? Leaving people out, making people feel bad, right? And let me know if you yourself have been a victim of that kind of office politics, where you've been the victim of someone finger pointing and rumor mongering and lying on you. Like, let me know if you've experienced that, because I think that sometimes if you've experienced that kind of office politics, now you have trauma around that thing. Like at this point, you're like, oh my goodness, like I don't even want to deal with office politics because I've been a victim of somebody like talking about me or usurping my ideas or like trying to get over on me, right? And so sometimes if all you know is the bad side, you don't even want to deal, right? And I'm sorry that you went through that though, because now you might be scared of office politics. You might not want to engage in it. You might be completely freaked out by it because you're like, I just can't even like deal with that. But I want you to know that that's not the only side of office politics. I think another bad side is the sucking up, right? And this is the one that a lot of people are familiar with. Like, Ashley, I ain't finna suck up. I ain't finna kiss nobody butt, right? Like, I'm not finna get to know these people. I don't want to be in nobody's face. I don't like small talk, right? And let me know if that's you. You're like, oh God, Ashley, like I hate small talk. It just feels like I'm dying. Like, I don't care about nobody cat or what they do on the weekend. And if that's office politics, then I don't want to deal with it. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hearts like, yes, Ashley, like, I don't want to deal with that. Like, I don't want to deal with that kind of office politics. So give me a 1 in the comment box. Give me a 1 in the comment box if you've dealt with the bad side of office politics: gaslighting, lies, manipulations, rumors, sucking up, like people like jockeying and positioning to like, like try to get to the top and get the boss to see them. Yeah. So I want you to know that that's real, that a lot of office politics in the workplace is the bad side. It's the sucking up. It's the kissing up. It's the manipulation, the gossiping, like all of that stuff. Like there is a real bad side to office politics. But what I also want you to know is that that's not the only side. Right? That's not the only side. And I think too often Black women in particular, they don't know enough about the good side. They've never been trained on the good side. Everybody just told them, go to college, get the degree and put your head down and do the work. And that's what my mentors used to tell me too. Like, well, Ashley, just get your degree and just do the work. They'll see you. And I'm like grinding and working all kind of hours and like doing all this stuff and nobody's paying attention to me. I barely am making $50,000 a year. Like I'm not advancing. And I was so frustrated because I'm like, I'm doing everything everybody told me to do and I'm staying out of trouble and I'm minding my business and I'm not getting anywhere in my career. I'm stuck in middle management. I've been in middle management for 6 years. Like, how do I get out of this? And the way out is the good side. It's the good side of office politics. The good side, right? The good side of office politics is positioning yourself as a highly capable and high achieving professional who gets things done, right? The good side of office politics is positioning. It's leveraging. It's visibility, right? And you're not going to get visibility by putting your head down. You're not going to get visibility by shrinking. You're not going to get visibility by just grinding and being the last person in the office and then whining that nobody's paying attention to you. You need to politic. You need to leverage the good side of office politics. And the good side is positioning, right? It's some posturing. And no longer can Black women be afraid of that because everyone else is positioning and everyone else is posturing. And you not doing it and going into your ego and thinking you too good for it is going to keep you stuck in middle management. How do I know this? Because I was stuck in middle management and I was listening to my old school mentors who were telling me, oh girl, all you got to do is just do the work and I'll just sit on another committee and get another degree and get another certification and do this and do that. And I'm like, I'm doing all of this work and ain't nobody even paying attention. I'm doing all of this work and I'm still, paycheck to paycheck. How can I get out of the paycheck to paycheck piece? And how can I position myself as the expert that I am without doing more work, without having to go get another degree and go be $60,000 in more credit card debt? How can I use what I got now? Because I knew I had the goods, right? And let me know if that's you. You're I know I have the goods. But what I don't know is how to leverage what I have to get what I want, right? Let me know if that's you. If you're I know I have the goods. I know I'm smart. I know I have the level of expertise. I've supervised people before. I have the degrees. I have the experience. But what I don't have is the positioning, right? And my job as a mentor is to teach you the good side so you can use the good side to get what you want. Because the good side teaches you how to position yourself. The good side teaches you how to leverage. The good side teaches you how to differentiate yourself in the marketplace, right? The good side helps you stand out from the crowd. You don't have to suck up. You don't have to kiss up. You don't have to get to know your boss's dog, right? To really advance at work. The good side teaches you how to position yourself as an expert, right? So that you can use what you have to get what you want. And so let me introduce you to the good side, because I get it. The bad side got y'all all in y'all feelings, right? And so the bad side has basically taken you out of the game. The bad side got you so mad, so frustrated, so disappointed, so hurt that you're not even leveraging the benefits of the good side. Right? And so I think about this kind of how I think about relationships, right? So let's say you were in a bad relationship, maybe one that was really bad, maybe one that was abusive, right? Whether it was verbally or physically or financially, it was abusive, it was hurtful, right? And now you turned off of love, you turned off of relationships. You hot girl summer, money over, men, whatever, that's how you feel, right? That's probably how some of y'all feel about office politics. And I see the hearts coming. You're yes, Ashley, that's me. I'm over it, right? But love, in relationships, love is available to you. Love is beautiful. Love is kind. Love is patient, right? I'm a believer. So the Bible says so much about love. And if I just completely turn myself off of it and I don't want love no more. I had a bad relationship 3 years ago. And so now all men are bad. All relationships are bad. All love is bad. We can't be stuck there. Right. And this is what happens though. I get it. I know that this is what happens. This is how Black women get stuck in middle management, because they won't play the game. I cannot let that happen to you all. If you are on this live today, or if you are, as the pastor say, if you are under the sound of my voice, right, I'm going to teach you how to play office politics and win. We can no longer be turned off of the thing that can help us catapult us into the higher levels of leadership. If you're looking for a $30,000 salary increase, you're going to need to play office politics. If you're looking for that director level role, that VP role, that AVP role, if you're looking for those higher levels of leadership, those chief diversity officers, those chief managing officers, those senior managing roles, you're going to need to play office politics, period. And you and your ego being well, I'm not doing it and I'm not playing games, that's an ego thing, and you need to let that go. That's an ego thing. And we have to let our egos go. That doesn't mean that you don't think highly of yourself, but the ego that's telling you that you can't be strategic is the thing I want you to let go. Is the thing I want you to invite you to let go. Yeah, and I hear you, Miracle. Playing the game seems like I'm being fake and I'm allowing disrespect. And that's not it. It's just because you don't know the good side, right? You don't know the good side of office politics. So you think that office politics means being fake, but it doesn't. Office politics is about positioning. I'm sure that if you're on this live today, you probably think Ashley's a pretty authentic person, right? I show up with these octagon hoop earrings. I show up with my long, wig. I show up fully authentic at work every day. I was in a staff meeting earlier today. I showed up just like this, very political, very authentic. I show up in this same voice. I don't change my voice inflection. I am intentional. I'm strategic. I'm positioning, but never fake. Always authentic. And when you learn the good side, you can show up authentically. You can show up as your full self, and you can still position yourself as an expert. Let me show you how. So the good side of office politics looks like positioning yourself for recognition of your contributions. Too often, professional women think being a hard worker is how they're going to get to the top. Working people are often the people who are paid the least. Why? Because you are literally grinding yourself into a pulp, and they see that. So they're going to keep piling it on. They're going to keep giving you additional work. They're going to keep asking you to do stuff for free. They're going to keep asking you to be on additional committees. They're going to keep asking you to train people without any additional compensation because you're willing to do it. Politics is saying, thanks so much for seeing me as an expert. I really value how much you see me as an expert. And given my level of expertise, going forward, I'll need additional compensation to continue to train, onboard, and support new employees as they come into the organization. That's office politics. That don't sound like being fake. That sounds like being real authentic. Asking for more money, that's real authentic. That ain't being fake. That's office politics, though. What's disrespectful is you putting your head down and being like, well, hopefully they'll see me. Maybe next year they'll give me a raise. Maybe after so-and-so retire. Maybe after this, maybe after that. Right? Office politics means being recognized. Right? Raising your hand and saying, hey, I'm an expert. Raising your hand and saying, hey, I deserve more. Raising your hand and saying, I know you value me and you value the work that I'm doing, but you're not paying me like you value me. And so I need additional compensation for the additional work that you keep piling on. Because the disrespect is actually you letting them do it and being like, well, I ain't going to play office politics. Girl, you play yourself. Right? And so Miracle asks, no, it doesn't, right? So I'm so glad, right? We got to let go of this idea that office politics means we being fake or we playing ourselves or we're not being authentic. Office politics is asking for what you want. Office politics is standing in your power. Office politics is making sure that organizations see you as the expert that you are. You're an expert. You add a lot of value to this organization and they see it. But if you don't command the respect, if you don't play the game, they will play you. And so Miracle asks, like, what if they decline? Then you can go take your expertise to another organization. We all know that there's more than one job out here. There are millions of jobs available, millions of industries, millions of impact areas, millions of functional areas. Unemployment right now in this country, in the United States, is a little over 6%. This is half of what it was at the height of COVID, right? There are lots of jobs out there. If they're not trying to pay you for the value and expertise that you bring to the organization, then we'll work together to find you a new job, period. But you got to make the ask. You saying, I'm not going to play office politics and you getting played at work and they have you doing all this work and you ain't making no money. You play yourself. Right? You said instead they gave you additional days off. Well, that's compensation because that means you have additional vacation days. If that's what you want, great. If that's not what you want, then we need to work together to find you a new job. There's one or two options. You always advocate for yourself. Too often we're focused on, well, what if they say this and what if, it don't matter what they say. You're in control. You're in control of your career. Say it with me. I'm in control of my career, right? It doesn't matter what they say. Your job is to advocate for yourself. You advocate for yourself. You give them an opportunity to show up for you. If they do not show up, then you leave, right? But we're not going to stay stuck in middle management. We're not going to stay stuck in low paying, low impact jobs because we're afraid to play office politics or we're afraid to make the ask, right? And it's not job hopping. Like, I mean, why are we going to be loyal to these companies? Didn't Drake say that? We're not being loyal to these companies. These companies ain't loyal to us. Period. We are like, this is how I talk about to my mentees about this all the time. Organizations, companies, organizations, they have problems, right? They have problems. Organizations have problems. That's the job posting. They posted it and they have a problem. They have something that they need to happen in their organization, and the job posting is basically that thing. It's the problem. You have the solution. They're looking for you to solve their problem. This is why they post jobs. They're looking for you to solve their problem. There are millions of organizations with millions of problems. And you are a problem solver. So when it comes to your job search and your career development, all you got to do is look for the kind of problems you want to solve. And there are millions of problems. All those job postings out there, there are millions of them. And if you're not finding them, that just means that you don't have any strategy in your job search. It doesn't mean that there aren't jobs out there, right? Every day, I help women find and secure new roles where they're making more money and having more impact. You can look at my feed to see the Quiana making a $30,000 salary increase, Janine getting a $20,000 salary increase, my mentee Simone securing a $18,000 salary increase. Like the money is out there, the jobs are out there. That's not the thing. The thing is that you just don't have any strategy, and maybe you a little too much in your ego to like play the game and win. I ain't gonna be fake. You being fake to yourself, let these people play you, and you still there. You've been there 3 years, 5 years. See, come on now. Let's take some accountability, right? Let's take some accountability, right? And let's say I know that I've been in letting these people play me. I've been putting my head down and thinking, well, if I work hard, maybe they'll see me. Another good, a good side of office politics is that you have your ideas taken seriously. When you play office politics and when you really position yourself as an expert, people take you seriously. You're like, well, Race, I have an idea. But nobody's taking you seriously. Nobody's taking you seriously, and you're mad about it, but you're not playing the game. The game looks like in last week's meeting, I noticed that we did not advance on this initiative. In advance of the meeting, please refer to the email that I sent yesterday where I outlined the initiative that I'd like for us to move forward in. And I'd like to, bring it to this meeting to discuss it with you all so that we can finally take some action on this initiative. People are going to take your ideas seriously when you play the game. But when you sit in the back of the meeting frustrated with your arms folded because nobody's listening to you, you're not playing the game. You have to be strategic. You have to know how to submit your materials in advance. You have to know how to build a relationship with the supervisor so that they can put you on the agenda. Then you need to know how to build some stakeholder engagement and some accomplices, right? And I talk a lot about the power of accomplices, mentors, and sponsors in your career, because a good accomplice will signal boost you in a meeting. That's politics. That's the person like, yes, Ashley, I think your idea is great. Yes, Miracle, great thinking. I would like to advance that too. Yes, let's take this idea seriously. This is office politics. This is playing the game. This is having people in your pocket. But you're trying to do everything yourself. You just out here, I'm a grind. You've been looking for jobs for 18 months. Ain't nothing shaped. And then you want to blame it on COVID. Girl, stop it. Stop it. There are jobs out there. There is career development out there only if you will play the game. And you cannot let your ego convince you that you can't play the game, right? And then another good side of office politics, or another way good politics looks, is that it allows you to influence what other people think and do. You want to be impactful. You want to be influential. A lot of the ways that I get stuff done at work, I don't even do it. I influence other people to do it. I'll say something like, hey, Bob, I've been thinking a lot about the work that we've been doing with students as it relates to student engagement. And I'd really like to see you all, advance some of these initiatives in your unit as well. I've been doing some of this work over the last couple of years, and we've really seen some increases. Have you all considered doing that? Now, Bob is like, oh, well, we hadn't really considered that. Well, maybe we should. Ashley said it was working. Now I got everybody on board. I didn't even have to do nothing but have a conversation. I did it through influence. I did it through impact. I don't have to work hard. I don't have to grind. I don't have to take on every project and be on every committee and be out here busting my butt. No, I do it through influence. Influence is the good side of office politics. Influence is getting people to move in a direction that you want them to move without even have to pull them. You don't got to drag them. You don't got to, pray that they agree. You can just influence them. And you all follow influencers on social media, right? You saw a t-shirt some influencer had, you're like, oh, I like that. Or you saw her home decor, you're like, oh, I should go to Marshall's and get that, right? Influencing works, but you don't want to play the game. You hate office politics. Come on, let's be smarter. Let's be smarter. Let's be more intentional, right? Influence works. You see it every day. The car you drive, the things you wear, the things you say yes to, the things that you say no to are through the influence of someone else. Influence isn't inherently bad. You're influenced by your pastor. You're influenced by a spiritual leader. You're influenced by your mother. You're influenced by a good teacher that you had. Influence isn't bad. What if you're like, well, I don't believe in influence? That don't make no sense. Just because one bad influencer did something, well, I don't believe in influence. What? Influence is not inherently bad. Office politics is not inherently bad. It's not inherently bad. You need to learn how to use the good side of it. The good side of it. Right? And so what I want to invite you into is that there is a good side of office politics, and you can play it and you can win. And if you believe it, just give me a yes. I know I can do it. Yes, yes, yes. I want to know. I want to hear you like talking back. I want to know if you like, I know, I see now, Ashley, that there is a bad side. And maybe you've even been a victim of it, right? Like, you know, there's a bad side, but now you understand there's a good side too. Yes, Miracle says yes. Yes, I love that. Right? You know that there's a good side now too. And I've taught you about what it looks like. It looks like positioning yourself to get your contributions recognized. It looks like having your ideas taken seriously. It looks like influencing what other people think and do. Right? It looks like success. It looks like making more money. It looks like having more impact. And if you want to move beyond just knowing that there's a good side and a bad side, and you really want to know how to do it, like, what does it actually look like, Ashley, for me to move from like the bad side that I've been traumatized by to the good side? Then I want to invite you to be a mentee of mine, because my mentees, not only do they not only know that there's a good side and a bad side, but they know how to use the good side. They actually know how to do it at work. They know the conversations to say. I have scripts in my programs. I mean, I have like, say this, say that, use it like this. Have this kind of conversation, right? We're going to get right to it. We're going to get right to what it is and exactly what it looks like in the program. And so I want to invite you to apply to the mastermind. If you're a mid-level leader who you know you're stuck right now, if you're like, Ashley, like, I have been stuck in this job for years, and I feel like office politics has actually been bad for me. I've been abused by office politics. Somebody did lie on me. Somebody did gaslight me. Somebody did try to manipulate me. If that's you and you're like, I really need to learn how to use the good side so I can really get what I want. If you're stuck in middle management, you're like, I want to know how to use the good side. Because now, Ashley, you like have taught me that it actually exists. I didn't even know that it existed, but now that I know that it existed, I'm like, girl, put me on. If that's you, I want you to go to the link in my bio. You can schedule a 20-minute mentor moment with me. I have some availability this week, and it'll just give us an opportunity to hop on a phone call. I really want to know like what's been going on in your career. It'll help me understand where you feel stuck in your career right now and which of my mentorship programs are going to be the best fit for you. So just go to the link in my bio. It's mastermind.mentor-me.org. You can schedule your mentor moment. Again, it's a 20-minute conversation. It's just an opportunity for me to get to know you better, for me to really understand what's going on in your career right now, for me to understand how I can best show up for you and serve you as a mentor. Because you not playing office politics is going to have you losing, period. Right? You mad about it. You think it's fake. You think that it can't possibly benefit you, and you're playing yourself. So we need to work together to really, to heal from the bad side, to heal from the hurt and the disappointment and maybe the ways office politics has hurt you in the past, and then learn how to use the good side. Like I said, it's like healing from love. Right? Like, you might hire a therapist to work through some trauma with an old relationship and with an old romantic love or whatever. And now you can then move into new love. You hop on Tinder, you do the swipes, and you find the girls, right? Or the boys, depending on what your, gender relationship preference is. But yeah, like, I want to help you with that, because I want you to heal from the past trauma of office politics. And I'm excited to like work with you as a new mentee to help you use the good side. And thanks so much for joining. I'm so excited to just talk with you all about office politics. I know that office politics is a difference maker for professional women, right? It is an absolute difference maker, right? Professional women, Black women in particular, too often think, oh, I'm not going to play office politics. Office politics ain't for me. I don't have time to play games with people. But we got to move away from that. We're missing out on an opportunity to position ourselves as experts, honey. We're missing out on an opportunity to have our ideas taken seriously. We're missing out on an opportunity to influence the way our leaders, our supervisors, our managers, our clients, our customers, our students, our organization shifts and moves. That's what politics is. And you saying you don't play office politics or you ain't playing games with these people is all ego, girl. And you need to let it go. Let the ego, your ego ain't doing nothing for your pockets. Your ego got you stuck in a job where you're making $54,000 a year and you're mad about it. Stop being mad. Start playing politics. Because when you play, you win. When you play, you win. Let it go. Right? And when I say let it go, I get this sometimes not easy. What I'm saying is do the work to let it go. Do the work to let it go. Get a mentor. Get somebody who can help you let it go and actually play to win. Because the good side of office politics looks like you having your ideas taken seriously. And right now you're so overwhelmed because nobody's listening. And I know that you're experts. I often joke, but it's like really serious to me. Like, I have the opportunity and the pleasure of engaging with some of the most highly educated, smartest, most capable women on the internet. I feel like nobody has an audience like mine. Like, my followers are just, y'all are so smart. Y'all are so capable. But too often, you're not committed to investing in yourself. You're not committed to like doing the work. And you're like, well, I shouldn't have to do all of that. Sometimes we doing too much of the wrong thing and not enough of the good thing. Yes, you're burnt out, but I'm not asking you to do more. I'm asking you to work smarter. I'm asking you to be more intentional. I'm asking you to position yourself as the highly capable and high achieving person that you are. I'll never forget one of the greatest compliments I ever got. I was asked to sit on a committee and I went into the room, like the president was there. I work in higher education. So the president was there and the provost was there. And it was like all these high level leaders. And I was probably like the lowest person on the totem pole or whatever, like as a director. And I was looking around like, oh, okay, she here. She there. I was like, oh, okay, I'm in the room or whatever. I was just happy to be in the room, girl. And, so I got there and they set us all down and the speaker speaks and she's just like, if you're in this room, you're well known in our organization as a person who gets things done. And I was so honored, right? She didn't say, if you're in this room, you're the smartest person here. Or she didn't say, if you're in this room, you're the hardest working person here. Or she didn't say, if you're in this room, you're the highest title in your organization, right? She said, you're a person who gets things done. Organizations have problems. They're looking for professionals who get things done. But that doesn't mean I wasn't burnt out when I got on the committee. I wasn't exhausted. I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't frustrated. I'm a person who uses strategy and intentionality to get things done. I reject overwhelm and instead invite peace, joy, and ease into my life. My life is full of ease. It's not easy. My life is often challenging. But it's so full of ease. It's designed like that because I play office politics and I win. I don't let people play me. I don't work for free. I'm not on every committee. I'm not grinding myself. I'm not always saying yes. I'm positioning myself as an expert. I'm influencing the way the organization works, right? I'm positioning myself to be recognized for my contributions. I'm not just putting my head down and hoping somebody recognizes me. I'm actually saying, hey, I wanted to send you an update on this great initiative my staff has been working on. It's being very well received. Students are clamoring over it. I just want to let you know it's going well. I signal boost. That is office politics. But you are waiting for someone to recognize you. And it may not ever happen. And that frustration builds up resentment, right? And you are not going to resentfully get to the highest levels of leadership. It's just not going to happen. That's not how resentment works. Resentment is not going to get you to the highest levels of leadership. But what will is positioning yourself as an expert and showing up as an expert. And if you feel like you can't show up as an expert in your current organization, then it means getting the help that you need to move from that organization to one that will value you. And that's what I do as a mentor. As a mentor, I help high achieving women position themselves as experts in their industry to make more money and have more impact. Because that's what you deserve. And I know that's what you desire. And so I take what you deserve and what you desire and package it into something that is highly sought after in the marketplace, right? Something that employers are clamoring to work with you rather than you going around and hoping somebody notices you. We're going to position you. We're not going to hope someone notices you. We're going to position you and the girls will come. I love talking about things that will help you shift your mindset about the world of work, right? There is joy in the world of work. There is ease in the world of work. And just because that doesn't exist for you right now in your career doesn't mean that it's not available. It is absolutely available. But we must make an investment in our career development. We absolutely have to make an investment to get around people who can shift our mindset about what's available for us in our career. And I'm excited to be that person for you, right? I'm excited to be the person who helps you shift your mindset, who helps you think differently about the world of work, who helps you think differently about what's available to you, who helps you think differently about office politics, that helps you think differently about making more money, about having more impact, about managing up, about leading from where you are. I'm excited to be the person who helps you shift from where you are to where you want to be. That's what I do and have done for hundreds of women across nearly 15 years of professional experience in corporate, nonprofit, and educational leadership. Those are spaces that I'm an absolute expert in. And I'm excited to invite more women into my mentorship programs so that I can serve them, so that I can help them, so that I can support them and give them the real mindset shifts and strategy they need to make more money and have more impact. There's more money out there for you. There's just more money. There's more money in these industries. I know you think, oh, actually, I work in nonprofit. Ain't no money in here. That's not true. Not for my mentees. It's just not true. I work in education. Actually, you know, it ain't no money in education. I make more than 6 figures as an educator. There's money out here. You're not finding it because you don't have any strategy. So let's just work together to get the strategy. Okay. Let's not stay stuck and be frustrated by staying stuck. Let's get some strategy. I'm so excited to help you. I'm so excited to help you get the strategy that you need, right? Because it's available to you, right? Go to my website at mastermind.mentor-me.org. If you want to learn how to play office politics, if you want to learn how to win in office politics, that's what I teach in the mastermind. I'm so excited to help serve you, to talk more to you about how you can play the game and win.